This is Calgary. So is this, and this. Calgary winter is a love it or hate it situation, and in this video we'll talk about if dealing with Canadian winter, especially here in Calgary, is really for you. Let's talk. Alright, I had to step back inside for this one. So of course there's no doubt we do have winters here in Calgary, but the thing is our Canadian winters are very different than what you see on social media, and especially here in Calgary. There's some kind of dilemma about Calgary being extremely cold and just weather being unbearable, which is far away from the truth. The thing is, our winters really only last 4 months. It kind of starts in November, December, Jan and Feb, and March is where you kind of see the spring coming back into action. And from there on, our summers are extremely beautiful. We have a lot of nature, a lot of wildlife, and so much happening here in Alberta and Calgary specifically. So I would definitely not be scared of the winter, but the 4 months that we do have, the winter months, of course, they do get cold. Of course, they could be harsh, but you have to understand that it's not the 4 months we are completely dealing with snow every single day. We're kind of working in a cycle of good and bad weather. What I mean by that is our weather is very bipolar, and a lot of people have a hard time understanding what bipolar really means, but to really break it down to you, we can witness plus 20 degrees and minus 20 degrees in the same day. Matter of fact, within a couple hours, and I've seen that personally myself, where it was sunshine bright outside in the morning, and by the evening we had about 10-15 centimeters of snow. And it happens in Calgary, which is why our weather is very bipolar. So it's always recommended carrying a jacket with you, because you really don't know when the weather could change, or at least check the weather app before leaving your house. Now, the other part of the equation is Chinook winds. Now, Chinook winds are hot, warm air coming from the Rocky Mountains, and Calgary has probably the only exception that gets Chinook winds, which is the reason why Calgary has way better weather than you will find up in the north like Edmonton. Hence another reason why a lot more people are looking to move to Calgary instead of Edmonton, and why Edmonton real estate is a little bit cheaper than Calgary. So basically what Chinook wind does is, no matter how cold it was, that warm air, when it comes through the city, it melts away all the snow. So let's say if we had 20 centimeters of snow this week, and we're expected to have another snow cycle in 3 weeks, by that time of third week, most of the snow that was currently here would have eventually melted away. So that is really neat. It's not like the snow is piling up on top of each other like you would actually see in some of the social media posts or online videos. Our winters are very manageable. And when it does get cold, you can see temperatures as low as minus 30 degrees, which is way colder than any commercial freezer out there. But still, that is something you only have to deal with for a week or max 2 weeks. It happens every single year, but right around that January mark is when we see extreme cold weathers where wind chills are minus 40, the temperature is minus 30, and it's just a week or 2 weeks. Once you're kind of past that stage, you wouldn't really be bothered by the winter season. The other thing about Calgary is nothing stops here. If you're living in States, or if you're coming from Seattle, New York, you know tiny bit of snow will stop the entire city. That is not the case here in Calgary, and even in Canada. The thing is, everything is on the go. Our infrastructure is built accordingly, and people have adopted to the weather and to the cold. We have heated garages. Most of our cars are all-wheel drive, or if not, people are getting winter tires or other scenarios and precautions to make sure we can survive the Canadian winters. It's only a few months, and once you get through it, there's a lot to explore here in the country. And fun fact, if you don't want to deal with any of that, you don't like driving in winter because it can get a little bit riskier and the roads are a little bit slippery, you have a great option of living in downtown Calgary. And the good part about downtown Calgary is we have one of the world's biggest indoor walkway system, if not the biggest indoor walkway system. It ramps about 15 kilometers of all indoor space, which means you can travel from one building to another, which means you can go to your work, your groceries, everything could be done using the indoor walkway systems, which is absolutely great. And besides that, there's a lot of fun activities to do in the wintertime, things that you typically wouldn't be able to do in any other place, like snowboarding, skiing, ice skating, and our city has done a very good job establishing infrastructure to actually make sure you're able to enjoy the winters. Once you get in the habit and the lifestyle of dealing with all that stuff, it's really not a problem, and Calgary does have a lot more to offer on the bright side. And with that, if you are thinking about moving to Calgary, I'm a licensed real estate professional, so give me a call, text or email and I'll be happy to help. So I hope this video breaks down the scarcity around Calgary winter. And for any more questions, feel free to leave them in a comment and I'll answer them as soon as possible. Once again, my name is Mohit and I'll see you in the next one.